Ah, the good old days. A time when kids played outside and if their sandwiches fell on the ground, they still ate them. There were all sorts of hazards all around us, and yet we never gave it any thought. Half of the stuff in your home was probably trying to kill you. Here are some of the past items that could kill or maim you. Mercury thermometers were in every household. Moms were shoving those in our mouths, and we were waiting for that little shiny silver line to raise so that we could stay home from school. These were made out of glass, and if they broke, the glass was the least of your worries. The mercury inside is what you really had to worry about. These little toxic beads would not be good if you accidentally swallowed them. Heck, even touching mercury wasn't good, but schools would sometimes let you play with mercury on your desk just to keep you entertained. Today, we now understand the dangers of mercury poisoning, and we have moved on to digital thermometers, which are a much better option. At one time, lead paint was the go-to product for homes and businesses. It was used for many decades because it was very durable, and it also helped to give you what you were painting a superb finish. Little did we know that this product became a health hazard if it ever chipped or peeled and then was ingested. It could lead to a lifetime of health issues, including different cancers and developmental delays in young children. Lead paint is now banned, but if you live in a home that was built before 1978, then there's a good possibility that you could be exposed to it. If you have any little ones in your household, then you definitely don't want to let them chew on a windowsill. Asbestos was used in many different building materials in order to make us safer, or so we thought. It was used as insulation in walls and on pipes, as well as roofing shingles and other building materials in order to improve fire resistance. That may all sound great, but the downside was how it could cause a slow and painful death. Once asbestos got old, it would break apart, and if you inhaled it, then it could lead to a whole host of lung disorders and disease. Thankfully, this stuff is now banned from being used in new structures. DDT was once considered a superhero of pesticides. At one time, trucks used to go through roads and neighborhoods spraying a foggy mist behind it in order to control insects. When it was hot outside, kids would ride their bikes behind the trucks in order to cool off in the mist. But DDT was not just killing mosquitoes. It was wreaking havoc on ecosystems and was linked to different cancers in humans. DDT is no longer an option for insect control, but we do have some less deadly options. Lawn darts was the all-American backyard game where a bad throw for a target could lead to an accidental impale into Grandma's head. These darts were heavy and they had a sharp metal tip, which made them pretty dangerous. Lots of people sustained injuries when these punctured various body parts. When you think about them, it almost seems like a miracle that anyone survived a family barbecue when these things were around. The lawn darts with metal tips have been banned, but now there are some other ones with soft, blunt tips. They are definitely safer, but some might argue that they are far less exciting. You may be familiar with formaldehyde because of science class and dissections, but that wasn't the only place where you could find it. Formaldehyde could also be found in your walls, furniture, and floors. You know, just in case you wanted that freshly embalmed scent at home. The bad thing about that was how prolonged exposure was linked to several respiratory issues and cancer. Today, these products are now formaldehyde-free, so you can rest easy in your home. Thalidomide was marketed as a wonder drug for morning sickness in the late 1950s. It was very popular until it started causing severe birth defects in thousands of babies. The drug was quickly banned, and it has remained a cautionary tale about drug testing. Definitely take your precautions on what you consume. No one wants to play pharmaceutical roulette. Do you remember your grandmother's clothes smelling like mothballs? Well, there's a good reason for that. She used them to help protect her and Grandpa's clothes from some pesky insects. No one wants to put on a sweater and found out that some larva had eaten holes in it. For many people, mothballs were the preferred method to prevent this from happening. So how did this work, you ask? The secret ingredient is naphthalene, which is a chemical that smells a little like a gas station and it can damage red blood cells. Sure, your sweaters may have been hole-free, but you may have also had a headache or even worse. Some mothballs may still contain this ingredient, but thankfully there are safer options on the market, at least for humans. There's no doubt that many of the things that are made today are not like they used to be. They don't last as long. Sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes that's a bad thing. Toasters, for example, are one of those. In the mid-20th century, toasters were made with chromium, a shiny futuristic material that also happened to release toxic particles when heated. Because who doesn't want some toast in the morning with a sprinkle of organ damage? Today, your toaster may break after a few years, but at least it won't poison you. If you were a family that enjoyed going to the lake for some recreational fun, then you might be familiar with this next product. In 2005, the Wego kite tube hit the market and they were designed to pull behind boats and act as sort of a parasail. They would lift you high above the water and then there was nothing to hold you in when you came crashing down on the water. All you had was a cord to hold on to and plant your feet in. By July of 2006, 19,000 Wego kites had been recalled after some serious injury reports that had surpassed 30. Among them were cases of broken necks, punctured lungs, body and face injuries, and even 2 fatalities. Remember the trendy hoverboard? These little 2-wheeled contraptions were dangerous enough just trying to keep your balance on them. Lots of people sustained bumps and bruises, but some people received head injuries, broken wrists, and tailbones. As bad as that sounds, it wasn't the worst. In 2015, the trendy hoverboards caught on fire, literally. There were numerous reports of these self-balancing scooters exploding during usage, which prompted bans from city officials in different areas. Retailers were pulling them off store shelves. Around 10 companies recalled more than 500,000 hoverboards after almost 100 reports of fire-related incidents. Regulations have been put in place making them safer, but Razor recalled 237,000 of them in 2021 after discovering that they had a defective battery pack which gave them a potential fire risk. It's possible that you might own a bouncy house, but most people rent them. They have become a staple for backyard parties and especially birthdays, but they also are a magnet for injuries. In 2013 alone, there were more than 17,000 injuries according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. In Australia, a wind gust sent a bouncy house flying and it killed 5 children and injured several others. There have been other cases of these bouncy houses flying away with children inside due to improper securing, which has not been good for parents or the children. Many states do not regulate bounce houses, and those that do enforce regulations haphazardly. Trampolines are another backyard favorite for many children. They are a great way to burn off some energy, but they are also a great way to earn a visit to the emergency room. Between 2002 and 2011, they caused more than 289,000 hospital visits for broken bones and more than 1 million emergency room visits overall. Throughout the years, trampolines have taken measures to make them safer, but it's still not enough. In fact, some insurance companies may not even cover trampoline-related injuries. Others may drop a policy altogether if they find out that the policy holder even owns one. Throughout the years, there have been many items that have found their way into and around our homes that are really dangerous. Some of those are worse than others and can lead to serious injuries or illness. As a consumer, we all need to think about what we purchase and consider all the possible dangers. There are numerous companies out there that are just trying to make a buck and they don't care about what it costs. We have only covered a few items in this video that can be very dangerous, but there are certainly others. Can you think of any more that we missed? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.